Hi guys, I'm Christa Clark with ArtisticVegan.com and you're watching another Artistic Vegan cooking show where today we are making meatballs, but we're making them vegan out of oat flour with a mixture of mushrooms and onion and garlic and a little bit of flax, tomato paste, soy, some vegan parm that I'll go over how to make, some fresh herbs, some vegetable broth, some red wine vinegar and molasses to give it a little bit of that iron flavor, and then some dry herbs over here, which is just some sage, fennel seeds, and rosemary. And then for my fresh herbs, I've got oregano, basil, and parsley. In addition to that, we're also gonna need to have some marinara sauce, so you can either buy yours in a jar or you can make some homemade, which I'll show you how to make. And we're gonna serve it over some pasta with a little bit of basil, and it's gonna be absolutely divine. So let's get into how to make this delicious recipe. And real quick, shout out to Kim. Thank you so much, Kim McPherson, for your wonderful request and all your delicious requests on this channel and your support. Really appreciate it, and you. So let's get into how to make this recipe. For the vegan Parmesan, nutritional yeast, some garlic salt, and some cashews. And I'm just gonna go over to the blender, give it a quick blitz, and then it'll be a nice powder, and we'll be using that in the recipe. So here you can see it's a nice, wonderful powder. And that's what you're looking for. So then you just want to make your flax eggs. So that's just 1 tablespoon of flax with a few tablespoons of water. Just give that a mix, set it aside. Now I'm just going to keep life simple and put my vegetables in the food processor. So then just add a little bit of olive oil to your pan, or you can keep it oil-free if you prefer. Turn on the flame, and then you can saute this up until it is nice and fragrant. Then you want to add a pinch of salt and pepper. Then let that cook for a few minutes. So I've added the tomato paste and the soy sauce. Give that a mix. Then you want to add your dry herbs and mix it in and let it cook for about 30 seconds or so. You want to add your vegetable broth and some red wine vinegar and molasses. Now you want to let that simmer for about 10 minutes or so. I'm also adding a little extra salt and pepper. So here we have our delicious broth with the mushrooms and the onions and the herbs and the garlic, and it smells so good and it tastes that much better. I did give it a little taste. So now we're just going to mix it all together. This is oat flour, in that goes. Then I have these fresh, wonderful herbs. Added the vegan egg, added the vegan parm, and then added the mushroom mixture, which was piping hot, so you can mix it together, but you can't really knead it at that point because it's quite hot. So I put it in the fridge for about 15 minutes, maybe 20. And now I'm going to finish kneading it. You want to knead it for about 5 minutes or until it becomes a nice kind of dough consistency, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. I'm just going to add more flour as I feel it needs. Okay, so 5 minutes. That looks good. All right, so once you have your mixture prepared, then you can just scoop them into balls. So I have a big baking sheet with a silicone mat just to make it easy for transferring when I go over to the stove. So I'm just going to take them with a little ice cream scoop, keeping everything really simple, and put it in your hand, give it a roll, and there you go, your wonderful, beautiful vegan meatball. So I'm going to finish until my tray's full, and I'll meet you over at the stove, and we will pan fry them and sear them on the outside, and then proceed to bake them while we make our delicious sauce. Now I'm over at the stove. I have a little bit of oil heating up, and then you can add your meatballs to the pan. And you're just looking to sear them on the outside to get a nice golden brown color. Don't need to overcrowd them. So I'm going to proceed to brown them on each side and set them aside and continue till done. My vegan meatballs are just finishing frying up, so I'm going to chop my onion and mince my garlic and prepare my herbs for the tomato sauce. Mince this. And I have a nice mixture of fresh herbs, parsley, and basil, and oregano. So I have this pan with the leftover drippings and stuff for making the oat balls. So I'm going to pan fry my onions in that, and then once it loosens up, then I'm going to transfer it to my bigger pot so I can make the pasta sauce in it. So I'm going to get this going. So I'm just going to add the onions right to the pan. Okay, so I placed my meatballs in the oven at 350 degrees and then turn the timer on 25 minutes. And then I've added garlic to my onions, and now I'm just gonna add that into my pot. And then add my tomatoes. Okay, and then just a splash of water to get the extra sauce out of the can. Then I'm gonna add a little bit of pepper, a tiny bit of salt, but not too much. About, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. Maybe a little bit of basil to taste, and some oregano. Then I'm gonna add fresh herbs towards the end, and for now, I'm just gonna let this come together. You can have it with pasta or in a meatball sub, or you could even make them into veggie burgers, however you want. We chose pasta with some homemade sauce and little fresh herbs and that vegan parm, and then of course the meatballs. And I did try it where you pan fry them with the sauce, and in my preference, I personally prefer them more baked or pan fried. So here you can see they slice up fantastically, hold together well. They have a nice exterior from putting them on the pan, and then when you bake them, it bakes them and gives them a really delicious consistency on the inside. My mouth's watering. And the flavors are really great and spot on with all the different herbs coming through. And then of course, when you have a little bit of pasta sauce to dip it in, this is something to get excited about. You can get the recipe over at artisticvegan.com. I think you're really gonna love it. I hope to see you next time. And until then, please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content. Bye.